Time now to take a look at some highlights. And, Bruce, we're going to focus here on the Islanders' chances. Post-game highlights brought to you by Bethpage Federal Credit Union. And the Islanders with 10 days off. What did you see overall in terms of the offense they were able to generate? Obviously, they didn't score, but they had their chances.
Well, they really did. And the first 5 minutes was all the Hurricanes. And then the Islanders went to work as they dropped the puck, drove the puck to the net. And Josh Bailey had a breakaway, got in too tight, but a tremendous save by Mrazek. And then Cizikas and Martin are both in front of the net. That puck is just bouncing and bouncing. And that's really the way the Islanders went tonight, Jennifer, is it just couldn't find a way to get it past the goaltender.
You talk about the importance of moments in playoff games. And here again, Lee sort of in his comfort zone there in front of the net and can't find a way to bury the puck. Lee with another opportunity there late in the third period. But you talk about the shifts in momentum. And, when you have these scoring opportunities, the importance of finding a way to bury them. And again, the Islanders knew that they would be in for a battle against this Carolina team. They said they were set to work, and they knew that after the rest, they wanted to be fresh. They wanted to come firing on all cylinders is how they describe that. They were good in some aspects, but if you think about the details of the game and the structure, yes, Leonard was outstanding, but there are a few details and a few errors that were perhaps a little uncharacteristic that we didn't see from the Islanders in the first round.
Right. And let's remember that Carolina came out of a tough series, and everybody thought maybe they're going to be tired, but they're a bunch of young people, and they had their rhythm, and they had it for most of the game. There was pushes back and forth. At the end of the day, it was the Islanders who made the mistake and cost them the game, but this is not going to be a short series.
Now, the Islanders didn't score, but in the second period, Butch, Matt Barzal, puck went in the net. No challenge. Goalie interference was called on Anders Lee, and because he went to the penalty box, the Islanders couldn't challenge the call. No goal.
Well, no, it was a penalty, and the referee makes the right call on that call. But I thought it was a terrible call. I mean, they should have huddled and had a little discussion about it. But as we watch this play, Anders Lee is going to go towards the net, and you can see both his feet are turned out. So he's not going in a forward direction. He's actually going away from the play, and you can see Walmart is right up against him, pushing him in, and you can see the aggressive nature of Mrazek. He had that right foot out about 2 feet outside the crease. So for me, worst case scenario, it could have been waved off. But look, Anders Lee is not in the crease. Look at the position of Mrazek, how far out of the net he is. He challenged Anders Lee. Real smart play by the goaltender. And of course, then he certainly flops pretty quickly. But I think, the referees obviously, they don't have time to take a little look like we did in replays. But if you're watching the play, for me, Anders Lee has both feet turned out. So he's backing up a little bit. Why is he backing up? Because he's got Walmart pushing towards him, and his left shoulder is pointed outward. So anybody that's played any sport knows where their shoulders have got to be. They got to be pointing in the direction you're going to go. So if he was going to the net, going towards the crease, then okay, fine, that's goaltender interference. That is not a very good call. End of the day, it may have cost the Islanders the game because they might have been up 1-0.
And again, because a penalty was called on that play, the Islanders could not challenge the call. All right. Third man high for the Isles, Jennifer, on the forecheck. Northwell Health presenting a different look. What's the significance of what we're seeing here in terms of how the Islanders are trying to forecheck against Carolina?
Well, Carolina is a team that likes to have all 5 men on the ice join the attack. So you saw tonight they seem to emphasize that third man high. Here's an example of Bailey making sure on the forecheck that he's right at the blue line or even above the blue line to make sure that he's right next to the Carolina forwards or close to them so that he's part of the defensive core. Another example here where Clutterbuck, he sees the opportunity, he can, pinch in and keep the puck into the zone. But again, they really seem to exaggerate that third man high, knowing that Carolina likes to push the pace. They led the NHL in shot attempts and shots for the regular season, so that you have to be ready for them to all join the rush and be ready to attack. So that was one element that the Islanders seemed to be conscious of and made the adjustment to make sure they always had that third man high on the forecheck.
And not only that, Jennifer, that allows the Islander defensemen to pinch in because if they have no coverage, then you got the 2-on-1 scenario. So the third guy has to be back in that defensive position and always in a position in case there's a loose puck. They can move in to the hole and get a pretty good shot. So you're right. Good job by the Islanders. Very, very few odd man rushes, especially coming in from a forecheck.
All right, so that's a forecheck sequence that we wanted to show you from a good part of the game. How about the chip and chase aspect, Butch, of the Islanders' play?
Well, that's the way they play, and really, you want to force the Carolina Hurricanes to come 200 feet. So the Islanders are going to chip that puck in, and then they're going to get on the forecheck, and when they're at their best, they've got support. So they're a little slow getting in there, and that's why I said the Islanders weren't quite on their game, but that's the nature of the beast for the Islanders. You can see the turnover, and then a great opportunity by Phil Mrazek makes another good shot. But another example example of the chip and chase, and there goes the forward in on the Hurricanes. Good way to start the physical play. You finish your checks. You know where the puck's going to go. And so the Islanders had a lot of success against the Pittsburgh team by this exact same ploy. Just step in, get in on the forecheck, pressure when you can, be physical when you can. And they did it pretty well with most of the game.
And I mean, for them, I know they just come in, and their physicality was very good in the first period, where they came out with 23 hits in the first period to establish that pace. Not quite as strong for the second period, where you noticed a bit of a change, but that's where you created a lot of opportunities and momentum with that physical play.
And you wonder, you have those 10 days off, and so you're ready to play. You've got all that energy in your home building, so you're coming out, you're being physical, you have a game plan, and then in the second period, because you haven't had that momentum for 10 days, it's hard to maintain it. It's hard to get yourself going. Where again, it's such an advantage for Carolina early on in the season because they've got their game going. They only played a day before, so I expected them to play better. I was kind of hoping the Islanders would find their way as the game went on, but it was a tough game. You got to give the Hurricanes a lot of credit. I thought they played a very good game. They don't go away, much like the Islanders, and perhaps that's why it goes into overtime.
All right, and in the overtime, Jennifer, just 4:04 in, very helter-skelter. It almost seemed like a regular season overtime in terms of how crazy the pace is normally in the regular season. We got obviously 5-on-5 here in the postseason, and Jordan Staal won it for Carolina.
He did, and I mean, for the Islanders coming in to know that there was going to be a high pace, a high intensity to this game, they also have a lot of respect for their opponents. And you look at opportunities in overtime. This was the missed pass on the rush for the Islanders, and now you have 4 men deep. You get the 2-on-1 opportunity for Carolina. They don't score on the rush, but for the Islanders, trying to find the way. Okay, let's find our men, regroup in the neutral zone or in the defensive zone. But again, Pete, they look a little scrambly, looking around their shoulders, trying to find everyone. Carolina maintains possession of the puck, and again, there Taves doesn't quite take Staal, and he buries it, makes no mistake. And again, an unfortunate error because Leonard has been was so good all night long. But again, you talk about the importance of taking your men and covering the positioning, taking away their sticks so they don't have those shot opportunities. And again, a tight game all night. The Islanders did battle, but an unfortunate ending with Staal burying that one in overtime.